Welcome to Venture Forward. It's late July 2023, and welcome to my driveway. This week is devoted to prepping the van because after I publish this episode, I am heading out. I'm going to be spending next month in the field traveling to and from the Northwest, and Shannon will be joining me for a couple weeks. She's flying in later, and then I'm going to meet up with her at the airport. So that's why this isn't an adventure video, because I need some time to make sure that all of this, the van, is shipshape. First and foremost, I need to fix the MaxxAir fan above you. When I was out in the field last week, the lid stopped raising and lowering, the mechanism broke. So the fan still turns on, but it no longer opens up to the outside, and I'm hoping that I have the means to fix that here because we need that. Although it probably won't be 108 degrees wherever we end up, it's still hot all over the country right now. There's a set screw on the side here. There's a screw right there that's backing out, and I think I'm gonna have to get on top to see what happened over here. This, one of these, and this. All right, tossing a blanket. Okay, this crossbar is in the way. Let's pull that. That came dislodged entirely, and that is the problem. So that pulled up like that, and it looked like it busted the screw that was holding it down. Back down below, I'm removing the knob and the plastic bezel that surrounds the fan to gain access to the lift motor and the damaged screw holes. Okay, this is the motor that raises and lowers the lid. And what happens when it comes detached here, these screws came out, now it's separated at these splines, and the arm is no longer able to raise and lower the MaxxAir. The motor just spins without being coupled. Alright, it's 4 in the afternoon and it's too hot up there. So I'm going to pick this up tomorrow morning when it's cooler. But this is the arm that raises and lowers the lid for the MaxxAir, and the screws that hold this mechanism down, one stripped out, one broke. This one right here is where the other screw broke off, so there's a screw fragment in there, and I need to get that out of there to reattach the mechanism. So I'm going to cut off this and put a machine screw in there and nut it from this side once I get the old fragment out, and then put it all back together, and it should be good to go. So tomorrow I'm going to make a hardware store run, shore up some of those holes, maybe get some JB weld too, and then reassemble, and fingers crossed, hopefully it should be good after that. Now I'm tunneling the screw holes so I can use the machine screws that I got at the hardware store and nut them on the back side. This is in lieu of using the original tapered screws that were threaded directly into the plastic and would probably just strip out again. Because of a clearance issue, I'm going to send this one up from the bottom. I ended up inserting both screws from the bottom and nutting them from the top. You can very easily turn a screwdriver down below and then reach through the fan to hold a wrench. The MaxxAir fan is almost ready to be put back together. There were some hairline cracks in the plastic from the screws coming loose that I hit with JB Weld. It's not pretty, but just to try to restore some rigidity to the plastic. While I'm waiting for that to dry, we have some new soft accessories from a company called Vanmade Gear to install here in the back. Vanmade Gear is a company that was brought to my attention by my friends Family Adventures Overlanding. They installed some of their products in their Sportsmobile and spoke very highly of them. So Vanmade Gear specializes in soft accessories for many popular van models such as insulated barriers, window covers, room dividers, blinds, pocket organizers. This is a room divider made specifically for a Winnebago Revel, and what it is basically a soft bedroom door that closes this opening behind me. And the reason we got it isn't as much for privacy as it is a means to help manage the climate inside the van. The air conditioning unit for the Winnebago Revel is located right above the bed. So on really hot evenings we can use this to close off the sleeping area, and then the air conditioner will run a lot more efficiently as it's only cooling the very back of the van. Installation for this one looks as simple as applying these adhesive Velcro strips. Alright, it's day 3 of the MaxxAir repair. The JB Weld should be nice and dry, so let's put things back together. So these 3 screws hold the motor on. I need the coupler, which goes on there like that. In order to tip this fan lid all the way up, at least on my van, you have to remove the crossbar that's directly in front of it. A little bit of a pain in the butt, but I can zap it on and off pretty easily with this. That's it, we're done. Next on the agenda is another item by Vanmade Gear. This is their nightstand, made specifically for the Winnebago Revel, and this is long overdue. I wanted something like this since we very first got the van 3 years ago. And what it is a soft panel with storage pockets that's installed at the head of your bed inside the flare cavity. So this gets mounted in here like this, and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pockets for our cell phone, car keys, anything. Before this, we just haphazardly toss our belongings on this shelf below the window. So this is a very welcome and elegant solution for storing our night stuff. Before doing anything, since the nightstand utilizes adhesive pads, I cleaned the inside of the flare off with rubbing alcohol and a dry cloth. Now I have to take off this window frame and reinstall it over the nightstand. Ow. Ow. I have never removed this before. Don't let the speed of this segment fool you. This install took somewhere around an hour or an hour and a half. Not that it was difficult, but it was very hot out, and it was my first time dismantling and reassembling one of these window frames. Okay, it's hot. Let's see here. There are holes under. There are holes where the window frame came off. I'm gonna have to replicate those holes through the nightstand to put the window frame back on. Vanmade Gear provided a bag of little metal clips so you could attach the fabric window to the plastic window cutout in the flare. A little flathead screwdriver helped pry those clips open. This is absolutely the hard part. I thought this would be a little bit easier getting it done, but this is tedious. Well, I know where the inside screw holes are, so I can at least get started putting those screws in. And then the outermost holes should be right where I left them, lined up with the holes in the window frame. Alright, I'm going to use a pointy probe to confirm the position of the outer holes. The window frame is attached using 8 screws, 4 on the inside perimeter and 4 on the outside corners. It took me about 20 to 30 minutes of poking around with the probe to find and reuse the original screw holes. Easy peasy. Alright, now the backing is exposed, and all I have to do is press it against the wall. That's all there is to it. And it isn't so bad if you wait for a day that isn't over 100 degrees Fahrenheit out. The temperature is making this a lot more difficult than it would normally be. Vanmade has an optional panel that's just a soft Velcro panel that replaces this window frame, and that might be the easier, more elegant solution. Fortunately, the other side of the foot of the bed doesn't have a window to contend with, so I should be able to get that one up in a matter of minutes. Alright, the van is all set. Now we just have a lot of packing to do this weekend. I don't currently have a route to go northwest, but I would like to double time it through the desert. So for the first couple days, pound pavement until I'm well north and in a different climate. I loathe route planning, and I simply never do it. I never plan. Adventure lies in the unexpected, and when you adhere to an itinerary, then everything's expected, and what's the fun in that? I hope you all enjoyed this episode and found it interesting, and I will see you next week somewhere north. Thanks for watching, everyone.